Welcome to the Jacob Gospel Podcast. Jacob and Brandy Gospel here. And today we're talking about health in a marriage because, we talked last week about the stress and like how we relieve stress differently and making sure that we're doing it in healthy ways.
Yeah.
So this week, we just find like there's no other thing to talk about but health. And for me, and for you, that comes with, we include like health and fitness. But health really means everything. It's your entire way you live. It's not a diet that you get on that you, to get your beach body ready, or it's not like a diet that you get on just to fit in a dress or anything like that. It's truly a way of life.
Yeah.
It's truly a way of life. So, and how does that affect marriage? How does that affect work? I mean, literally everything. Your entire life is somewhat anchored in your health.
Yeah.
That's mental, physical, emotional, all the different levels, or mental and emotional may be the same thing. I don't know. But so what does it mean to be healthy? Like, what does it mean to be in good shape? I think it's relative to different people, of course, because like, as I know, I mean, you can be really big, like a fat person can be in amazing health. And the person who looks like they're the epitome of health actually could be in terrible shape.
Yeah.
So it has less to do with what you actually look like and more to do with what's on the inside of your actual body and what's on the inside of your actual mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about relieving stress with that, physical activity to me is one of the greatest stress relieves that you can ever do. I mean, last week we talked about the axe and the gun and all of that stuff was literally all about one word: action. Taking action, do something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going to work could relieve stress for me. Anything doing. Sex, we didn't mention that last week, but sex, amazing stress relief. Got me sidetracked. There you go. So the other side of health, of physical health and mental health, I really do believe, is diet.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talk about all the time, you can't outwork a bad diet. And you can't. Like, I mean, I see people all the time that try to do this and they're in the gym, 8 days a week and 8 hours a day. And it's like, oh my God, I'm trying to figure out I just can't lose the weight. But then you look at everything else, they're drinking soda, they're drinking alcohol. They're
just
living
not eating
the
things
diet
that are good for their body, right?
Yeah. I mean, we went eat with friends yesterday and I know this. When I eat anything dairy, I just feel like crap. I don't know. It's something that happened to me just a couple years ago that I really noticed. When I eat dairy,
you just don't feel
I just feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday we went eat and the appetizer was nothing but cheese. The meal that I got was nothing but cheese, but it was good. It was really good and I wanted it. So I got it.
Yeah.
And then last night, what did we eat last night?
We actually ate pretty good last night.
Okay.
We had salad and chicken.
Oh yeah. There you go. So that was good. Then, today I feel like crap because of what I ate yesterday. And it might take me 3 days to get over that. So that one sit down meal that we had could mess me up for 3 days. Mm-hmm. So imagine things that are unhealthy, how it affects a person throughout their entire life,
Right. So when I turned 40, I decided to do a little bit of research because I knew my body was going to be changing. I already had some medical issues, not having a thyroid for 20 years, basically. So I wanted to see kind of what I was going to expect in the next, coming years. And when you look at all of the things that are affected by the food that you put in your body, I was amazed. I mean, and I knew to a certain extent that, obviously what I put in my body matters and what I eat, but I don't think I realized just how much of an effect it had. Sugar is one. I'm not a huge sugar freak. Like, I don't have to have it all the time, but it wasn't something that I was very conscious about. I just kind of ate whatever.
If it had sugar.
Sugar, whatever. And then I started reading all of the things that can happen when you eat sugar, and then you get addicted to it. And then it comes in so many different forms, and you don't even realize that what you're ingesting is actually sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So just cutting that out, and not that I cut it out completely, but being more conscious of it has made such a big difference.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're really just putting the nasty stuff in your body that's making you feel horrible, and it doesn't give you energy. It actually sucks the energy from you, and then you end up either tired or grouchy, and then it affects every other part
100%
of your life. It affects your job. It affects the relationship with your kids. It affects your marriage. It affects your sex life. Everything gets affected, and it's just tiny little changes can make such a big difference. And I listened to a podcast, I think it was last week. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and one of the things they were talking about was the 80-20 rule. And they said, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to eat perfect. You don't have to exercise, this perfect regimen all the time. If you can be as close to perfect 80% of the time, just eat good and healthy things 80% of the time.
Yeah.
The 20%, you can have what you want. You can cheat and have your indulgences, and it'll make such a big, huge difference. Nobody's asking you to be perfect.
Yeah. Because
you just have to be more consistent.
Right. Because no matter what you do, nothing gets done overnight. Like, you're not going to lose weight overnight. You're not going to gain all the weight overnight. Like, one soda is not going to do that. But especially with sugar, like, I don't know why we on sugar so hard today, but like, that's one of the things that your body creates an addiction to. That's why, I mean, look, the people who make Coke and all those products, like, they're smart. Like, they know how to get the shelves to stay empty. And that's, or to keep the product moving, should I say. And that's making sure people are addicted to it. And I mean, we stopped drinking that, 5 years ago?
Probably. Mm-hmm.
Before it was cool, before we all realized that we were all too white for that. It was, we stopped drinking that. And it made a huge difference in my weight. Mm-hmm. And just by cutting out the soft drinks, that was just one thing.
Yeah.
And then when I figured out, like, the amount of water that I drink makes a difference. Well, now I drink almost 2 gallons of water a day. You know how amazing I feel drinking 2 gallons of water a day?
Yeah.
So even if my diet is not quite right, like when I travel, depending on what's there, will kind of dictate what I eat if I can't food prep. Mm-hmm. Because I'm taking in the amount of water that I do, my body doesn't hang on to some of that not as good food that I might eat. But to me, the diet is the key to everything. And it's just like everything else. If you go into it shooting from the hip, kind of like if I don't prep and I go to a place that I've never been before and I don't know what's there to eat, then I'm kind of at the mercy of whatever's around me.
That's right.
So if I don't have a plan to go into it with, then how can I really or how can I really succeed? So I have to make a plan. So if I know where I'm going, that's easy. Can I eat something there? Can I go to a restaurant, eat some healthy food and do that? Or wherever I'm going, how long I'm going to be for, can I prep? And can I actually take that food with me? Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Yeah.
But if you can prep, now not only do you have a plan, you have the actual product with you. And if you hold by that, not even going to work out, not even going to the gym, just by eating right, you're not going to lose anything.
Right.
It's going to be, and I'm saying lose any progress.
Yeah. Right.
You're going to actually be in amazing shape. So, the other thing is when you do that mentally, you're just like firing on all cylinders, because believe it or not, or like it or not, or hate me for saying it. When you drink alcohol, I mean, there's just proof. Like alcohol kills brain cells.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so just that alone, you would be like, okay, you know, maybe I should watch the amount of alcohol that I take in,
Yeah.
and how often do I drink it, and how much do I drink when I drink. And then the other side of it is there's so much sugar in the alcohol. And not to mention all the emotional effects of alcohol. Like you
Right.
feel good when you're on it, and then when you're off of it, you feel bad. And it's this whole
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster that your body just reacts terrible to it, you know, which mentally puts you in a fog, mentally gets you that addictive state. And then also, you know, it starts driving those emotions down. So then now I don't want to go work out because I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Then I don't go. It's like a domino effect, and it's
Right.
snowball going downhill where now you're not going to work out, and now you feel bad for not going to work out. And then you're like, oh, what the hell? I'm just going to eat this because I blew it today anyway. And then before you know it, like you're really, it wasn't one decision that made it that way. It
Yeah.
was a bunch of little bitty things that you didn't keep up with and make good decisions. So it's like, I think how you start your day is kind of what your day is going to be. I guess what's going to follow. You know?
Right. Yeah. And so if you had to give someone advice, let's say I'm coming to you and I know nothing. I'm coming to you today because I need to turn things around. I want to be a healthier person. And again, it's not about losing weight. It's not about dropping a number on the scale, and it's not about what you look like at all, because that's not the important thing.
It's about the habits.
Now, that's a side effect. A positive side effect is you might like the way that you look better, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to feel better, right? So somebody's coming to you and they're saying, my goal is I want to start to feel better. What can I do tomorrow?
Right. And they
What
know
would
nothing.
you tell them? They know nothing.
They know nothing. They're not into fitness. They're not really
That's
into
right.
dieting.
That's
like
right.
they're not doing anything healthy. The first thing that I would tell them is cut out the sugar and start drinking water. Cut out everything that whatever you're drinking, stop drinking it and only drink water.
Yeah.
And drink about, half an ounce to your body weight.
Yeah.
So if you'd start with that, so roughly most people, it's almost a gallon of water
Gallon
a day.
of water. Yeah, that's
You know,
average.
so if you can just roughly say a gallon of water a day, and chances are if you're coming and asking that question, you're overweight. So you need to be drinking a gallon of water a day to begin with. And
Yeah.
if you would cut that out alone, then you would see a tremendous difference in your health and your weight, actually. And then if you want to supercharge it, there's one more thing that I would do, and I would walk. I'd walk for 45 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because what that's going to do, it's not, if you're not doing anything, it's going to create that activity, which is literally, if you're going from a couch potato to this, like cutting out the soft drinks and tea and sweet tea and all that stuff that you drink, cut all of that stuff out and only drink water and walk for 45 minutes, an hour a day, your life is going to change.
Absolutely.
If you do that every day, like you're going to lose weight, one, because
Right.
you're cutting out the sugar and adding in the walking. Like that's going to be incredible for you.
Yeah.
And mentally, you're going to be in an incredible state.
Yeah.
Because one, when you take action, look, you feel good. Like we're
Yeah.
human and we're meant to be productive. Like we're meant to reproduce action.
That's good.
You know, how do we populate the earth? You know, by sex. Sex takes action. You know, and then we have to raise kids. It takes action. So when we start taking action, no matter what it is, if you're in a terrible mood and you make sales, you pick up the phone, start making calls. Just picking up the phone and making calls is action, and you're gonna feel better.
Yeah.
But literally talking about health is go do something. Go walk. Go walk. You know, if you can't walk, crawl. If you can't,
Just
if you're
move.
listening to
Move,
this,
yeah.
right? If you listen to this and you can't walk, then do something. Like if you're in a wheelchair or something, there's something you can do. Take that action. Make somebody bring you some dumbbells. Start doing dumbbells. Do anything. And then drinking water, cutting out the sugar drinks and drinking water, cutting out the alcohol and drinking water, man, is going to totally change your life.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody would come to me and ask me the same question, I would say, for one, if you're a smoker, quit smoking. Do whatever you have to do to quit smoking.
My brain can't even understand.
That's a given. You can't be healthy if you're smoking. So
No.
I would say quit smoking. I would definitely say to drink the water and cut out the soft drinks. Walking is another one, especially because walking is all about your hormones, and our hormones control everything. And so if we can, I always call it my hormone therapy, and that's why I walk every day, because that makes such a big difference with how your body reacts to pretty much everything.
Right.
And then the last thing I would say, a lot of times we don't do something because we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So I would say either reach out to somebody who probably knows and just ask them for advice, or like me, I listen to podcasts all the time, and there's so many of them. And that's how I know that walking can affect my hormones, and that's how I know about different things, is because
100%.
I research it. So I would say just ask somebody, or look it up, do some research. And I would also say to take baby steps. Nobody says that you have to jump full in and be at the gym for an hour every day, working out and all these things. And nobody says that your diet has to be perfect. You just want to take baby steps. Today, eliminate Coke.
Yeah.
Tomorrow or the next day, or probably like a week. I would say a week or two of no Cokes, then take the next step. Maybe then you cut back on your carb intake a tiny bit. And that'll decrease your sugar intake when you do that right away. So just take baby steps, and you'll slowly start to see how much better you feel just from taking those tiny little steps.
Yeah, it's all about simple things. A buddy of mine was a 23-year Navy SEAL, Tom Shea, talks about that. He got a book called 3 Simple Things. And that's literally what it is. It's not about doing these big grand things and making these big grand changes. It's like one simple thing at a time.
Yeah.
Like at a time. That's it. And then you add one more simple thing. Like once you get that one down, you just do one more thing. So, if the only thing is to replace, because we always have to replace something, so take out the smoking and replace it with reading a book, or, something else, chewing a gum, something else to replace that. That's not as bad as what you're doing. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It just has to be better.
Right. Replace that soft drink with water. Just do that one thing and then get that down, then add walking, and you might not be able to walk 45 minutes. Walk for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. And then add a minute, whatever it takes. Do simple little things over and over again. And you'll be surprised. You'll be shocked, really, at the progress that you make over time. And I think that's the problem that people come into, is they want it all now.
Yeah.
And nothing happens that way. Nothing. It just doesn't happen that way.
Right. Yeah. And it's not about perfection. It's not about achieving a certain look. It's about the way that you feel.
Yeah.
Because the way that you feel affects everything, every day, all the people around you, the people that you love, even, that you want to be healthy for.
100%.
I read something the other day that people will say how they would die for their children. And most people probably would. They would literally die if it came to that. But how many people actually live healthy for their children?
Right.
That's tough. That's tough to say. So you want to be there, and you also want to be able to model it for your children, right? I want my girls to grow up to be healthy, I have to model it.
We got to back up. Like, that was too profound to just blow over. Like, y'all realize what she said? So most of you out there, if you had the choice, like if it came down to it and the only choice you had was you had to die for your children, then you would. Most of us would.
Right. Yeah, we would give up our life for our child. I know that I would, yeah.
But you have the choice right now to live healthy for your child. So like if you are unhealthy, let's think about this. Let's pick this apart. If you are unhealthy, You have the option right now, this very second, to make one decision that could get you course corrected just a tiny bit to a healthier lifestyle. And most of, and I hate to say it, most of you out there won't do it.
Right. And we're not saying, I think a lot of people, when they think of, get healthy, or when they think get fit, we're not saying, a man has to be a bodybuilder.
No.
He just has to be healthy enough to take care of his family. We're not saying a woman has to be a supermodel.
Right.
No, she just needs to be healthy enough to be happy and loving, to take care of her family, and to be energetic, and
right. It's just an example of
things that they need done for them. That's it. You know
how many of us out there can't go run around in the yard with our kids because we're out of shape, and we smoke, whatever it is that we just can't do. We're too fat and we actually can't go run.
Yeah.
Whatever. My knees hurt because I'm too fat. My lungs hurt because I can't breathe because I'm filling them with smoke. But yet you got kids that they look up to you, and they're expecting you to be there for a long time for them. And, it's like when you think about legacy and the grandkids and all the things that you do each and every day that you would want to be there for forever. But yet the actions and the things that you do every day are going to kill you before you actually get to do that stuff,
Sadie's barking at the neighbors.
Yeah. When she hears a car, and she's a vicious 4 pounds. So,
but yeah, and also, especially for mamas, it's not about having your bikini body ready for the summer. It's about having your body healthy and your hormones in check, so that when the stressful things happen in life, or the kids need to be run here or run here, you have the energy and you're in a good, healthy mood to be able to do that. So
yeah.
I think our time is up.
Yeah, we could talk about this forever, and we need to shut it down because I'm about to get fired up about it. Because when I start thinking about legacy and what people, they would die for their kids, but what they won't do for their kids.
Right, yeah.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, and I don't think it's because they just don't want to. I think it's a lot of times it's like that. You don't know what you don't know. And so you just have to take baby steps and ask somebody for help.
Yeah, so here's what we want you to do. If you want to take one course correction step, one little turn to being a little more healthy, and you don't know what to do, send us an email. Go to jacobgospel.com, comment on this video, send us a message on social media, and man, we'll be glad to walk you through it. And it's not hard. It's really not hard. It's not going to be painful because you do one simple thing at a time. You're worth it. Your family's worth it. Your kids are worth it. Your wife's worth it. The people, your friends and family, the people that you surround yourself with, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's too easy not to do.
Right.
It's too easy not to do. And people who think they can't do it, that's just an excuse because either they don't want to or they don't know how to do it.
Most of the time I think it's people just don't know.
So because if they want to, they can. And that's 100% possible. So send us an email. Like I said, they got buttons all over the place. Go click a button somewhere and send it to us. And we'll gladly walk with you through it. And then also too, if you know what to do and you're one of those people who are already doing it, send us a message. Let us know. We want to be able to walk those journeys with you and learn from you as well.
Give us a tip. Tell us what you're doing, because we're always looking for new ideas.
100%. And you'll see this as one of those topics that we're going to revisit on and on and on and on, because it's so important that we have to repeat it. We just have to.
For sure.
So anyway, this concludes the Jacob Gospel Podcast. We love each and every one of y'all, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week.